Today's top story, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was at the center of a storm on Thursday as senator after senator, including those who voted to confirm him, raised pressing questions over his public health agenda. Tensions were thick as the Senate Finance Committee hearing. Crosstalk and shouting ensued as senators, some of them doctors, demanded explanations for Kennedy's controversial actions in his first 8 months as the nation's top health official.
Yeah, if somebody can call up, because I'm not the kind of guy that's going to sit here and tell you that I know everything, but it doesn't seem to make sense to me. If somebody can call up and explain to me why they think it's a good idea to not vaccinate our kids for measles and mumps and smallpox and all these things that we've done for all these years that have kept these diseases down, and yeah.
Well, I know that Kennedy in the past has made a correlation between vaccines and
small penis?
No,
autism.
Autism.
There is absolutely
no. I'm saying I know he
right, but there
has.
is no scientific link between vaccines and autism.
I also believe that he said something about vaccines. I believe he said something about vaccines and 5G and Wi-Fi and all this stuff in your body.
If anybody else said that, you'd go, "That guy's crazy."
Well, I'm just putting it out there. That's some of the stuff he said.
But I'm saying if you're in Florida, and this is talking about doing this in Florida first. If you're in Florida and you feel safe knowing that they are taking away mandatory vaccines for schools, if you're a teacher, I don't know how you want to be in a school and you want to be surrounded by kids with smallpox or kids with susceptible to measles.
I guess on the
chickenpox.
On the surface, the idea is that you should just have the choice.
Yeah, but the choice affects other people,
right?
And especially in school. And the idea of the reason why these diseases have been eradicated is because we've been giving vaccines for so many years to so many people.
But with Kennedy, even the Republicans, some of them were attacking him yesterday.
Hey, Mike, it's Awkward Joe. I'm going to try really hard not to be awkward. The mercury, ethyl mercury is in a lot of the vaccinations to make the immune system do what it's supposed to do to react and create an immunity. And they have zero actual trials and testing research done on a lot of the vaccines. And
which vaccines are you talking about?
All of them.
We've been given vaccines for 70 years. How could they not have
the correlation? The correlation between the numbers of people that are actually getting vaccinations to the records that they want you to, like up to 76 or something now, and the correlation of that and the numbers of people that are actually beginning to show signs of autism based off of the recommended immunizations is huge, and that's what RFK is trying to really.
There has been no scientific correlation between vaccines and autism, and the ones that you have heard about in the past have all been debunked. That's the absolute truth.
The leader of the FDA in 2001 was asked that same question, and they have zero evidence that they actually conducted any research up until that point. And then when the guy that actually started doing research, he got I'm trying to make a turn now. The actual researcher got persecuted because he found all the evidence that they were trying to hide. And if you look in every one of those, I'm on the gun. I don't know how to find that guy's name right now, but the gentleman. If you look at an immunization box that they come with, they have all of the statistics and they have everything in the fine print, but nobody reads the fine print because they made it impossible to sue the people, pharmaceutical agencies that actually created this stuff in the 1980s. So if they're so safe and recommended, I've been doing this kind of research for a long time because my daughter got diagnosed with tuberous sclerosis, and from all accounts, she was perfectly healthy up until she got all of her doses.
But there are going to be instances where things come out of the reactions to any medication, but that is not that's going to vary upon different individuals. It's going to be it's going to have to depend on other circumstances. We don't know what your daughter may have had that caused that to happen in her body. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be applicable to other people who got the vaccine.
I understand that component, but the problem is that she had zero signs of what was inside of her brain in ultrasounds, and then all of a sudden she had these enormous tubers that I'm putting up bunny ears or quotations, but they're called tubers throughout her nervous system.
But she
And
grew. She
they weren't
aged
there.
and she grew.
And within that was the correlation. There's a lot of people like my circumstances that went and said, "Hey, that this is completely unusual. We don't have any genetic markers. We don't have any history throughout our family. None of these things happened, and all of a sudden they just started showing up because we followed everything that the doctor said." And then you put on top of that they get a kickback every time they say, "Hey, you need to take this vaccine." We're like, "Well, what happens if we do and then something's wrong?" "Oh, you're up a tree. That's it. That's that you. There is no. You can't go back and say, 'Hey, where is the actual evidence that says you did something that this is going to actually be completely safe?" And if it was, then why is mercury one of the leading components?
I don't know.
In there?
I don't know, and you're getting to a point where I can't answer these questions pro or con.
So this
RFK.
Go ahead.
RFK said something.
Hold on. What were you going to say, Go?
This says there's no scientific evidence of a link between vaccines and autism. The theory has been extensively studied and debunked through numerous large-scale, sound scientific and medical reviews across the globe. From Johns Hopkins, vaccines do not cause autism. From the CDC, key point studies have shown that there is no link between receiving vaccines and autism. And Autism Science Foundation says vaccines do not cause autism.
Mike Calta Show, good morning.
Hey, my name's John. I'm a pediatrician in the area. I just wanted to kind of chime in on a few points that your last caller made. So one thing in particular, he did mention ethyl mercury in vaccines. Ethyl mercury is not in every vaccine. Ethyl mercury also is not metabolized like methylated mercury. So there's a total difference there. Your body excretes ethyl mercury very easily. So that has been studied. Also, kind of a quick thing about correlation and causation. You can correlate pretty much any childhood disease to vaccinations because kids get vaccinations. But there's a difference between saying a child that's vaccinated gets a disease and the vaccine caused the disease.
Right. And there have been no links. There have been no studies that show that.
There's
None. And the ones
Absolutely
that they claim that there have all been debunked. The guy lost his medical license, and this is coming from a pediatrician right now. Now, here I'm going to ask you the question:
Who's paying you, sir?
Exactly. Is that? I mean, that is.
Oh yeah, I'm still waiting for my kickback money too.
Right. I mean, that's got to be frustrating for people to assume that everybody who is pro-vaccine or pro-mandatory vaccinations is getting some sort of kickback from some pharmaceutical company.
Not how any of that works at all. There's a few things that go into the vaccine schedule. One is, when are these vaccines most important? So when is this child most likely to suffer a negative outcome or death from this disease? And then when is it safe to give it? So the vaccines we give before the age of 1 target a lot of upper respiratory infections. Upper respiratory infections cause the highest mortality rate in infants. We wait before we give live virus vaccines like MMR until the child has a more robust immune system, until they're 1 or older.
Right.
So these things are definitely studied. They're not just kind of thrown out there willy-nilly. You want to get the most bang for your buck. You can't vaccinate after the fact. So that's kind of the thing we're always up against. You want to have this child vaccinated before they have the opportunity to get one of these vaccine preventable diseases.
So let me ask you, from a doctor's point of view, when you're hearing these ideas that there'll be no mandatory vaccinations before school, I mean, can you even fathom what this is going to be like in the next 10 years?
So scary, to say the least. I'm hoping a lot of this is just political theater. I'm hoping this is just, to rile bases and, this will never actually go through. But, vaccines have been extensively studied. This is not, new science. This is something that we've been dealing with for decades now. And the science is in it. They save lives. They save thousands of lives every year. So, I don't expect the general public to be experts in immunology, vaccines. That's your pediatrician, that's your doctor's job. I'm not even an expert in these, right?
I don't
But
know.
I did go to school.
I Googled a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah. The word research is used a lot these days. Yeah.
I will tell you that when it came to the COVID vaccine, I wasn't sure what to do with my kids. My kids were a little younger at the time, and one of my best friends is a doctor, and I said to him, "Will you be giving your kids the vaccine?" And he said, "Of course I will." And I said, "That's all I needed to hear." And he was not getting any kickbacks.